Ever feel like you've stumbled onto a treasure map, but instead of X marks the spot, it's your kid?
I like that analogy.
Right. That's kind of what it feels like having a gifted child. So much potential, so many paths. And thankfully, someone sent in this amazing excerpt about supporting gifted kids. So we're diving deep on that today.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
So this piece lays out like 5 major things parents can do, and they're all connected, which is super interesting. Challenging them academically, obviously, but then encouraging social interaction, which isn't always a given, right?
Oh, not at all. And that's where this excerpt gets really smart. It talks about supporting their passions, being patient with their emotional needs, and advocating for them in school, all tied together.
Totally. Okay, so first up, challenging them, but not just more work, right? This piece talked about going beyond the textbook, which I loved.
Exactly. Throwing the textbook out the window, metaphorically, of course. It's about sparking that genuine interest. Like if they're obsessed with dinosaurs, building a whole curriculum around paleontology, not just making them do extra algebra problems.
Which some kids might love, by the way,
Yeah.
but you're getting at the individuality of it, which is perfect because then this piece goes into social interaction and how it's not a guarantee just because kids are smart.
Right. Huge misconception.
Yeah.
Assuming a gifted kid will connect with a peer group is, well, it sets them up to potentially struggle. This excerpt specifically said to look for varying abilities, and that's huge EE.
Yes, because a kid could be doing like college level math at 10, but socially they're still 10. So sticking them only with older kids could be a disaster.
Precisely. Think about it. Forcing them into advanced classes based on academics alone could isolate them socially. Imagine being that kid, brilliant in math, but struggling to relate to anyone in their class. It's about finding that sweet spot, right? Where their intellectual A&D social needs are met.
Which leads perfectly into supporting passions. But what does that actually look like for parents? Like, my kid's obsessed with, I don't know, tax returns at 8 years old. Help me out here.
First off, that's amazing. And honestly, more power to them. But you're right, it doesn't mean we redirect their whole life towards accounting. At that age, it's about resources.
Okay, so less pushing towards a specific career, more like providing tools.
Exactly. Library trips, museum visits, maybe even online forums or documentaries. It's about nurturing that spark, not forcing an outcome.
Music to my ears. Now, this excerpt also said to be patient with their emotional needs, specifically mentioning intense emotions, which I think a lot of parents can relate to. What's going on there developmentally?
Gifted kids are often incredibly sensitive. They pick up on things other kids might not even notice. Imagine a news story about, say, a natural disaster. One child might grasp the immediate damage,
Right. Sad, but kind of on the surface.
but a gifted child, they might internalize the suffering, the long-term impact, even the political complexities, and that's HEEVY stuff to process.
Yeah, no kidding. So it's like their emotional intelligence is developing alongside their intellectual capacity.
Exactly. And that can be really challenging for them and their parents. Remember, patience and understanding are key here.
Which loops us back to that final point, advocating for their needs in school. Because after all this, it's clear a one-size-fits-all approach just won't cut it.
Absolutely. And this is where parents can be amazing advocates. The key: approach teachers as partners, not adversaries.
Oh, that's huge.
Come to the table with specific observations, not just, my kid's gifted, they need more.
Right, like they get bored easily or they thrive on creative projects, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And be open to different solutions. Maybe it's an accelerated program, maybe it's enriching activities within the classroom, who knows?
Yeah.
The goal is to work together to create the best possible learning environment.
So much good advice packed into this one excerpt. It's not just about academics, right? It's the social, emotional, and that constant advocacy that makes the real difference.
Couldn't agree more. And remember, every gifted child is unique. There's no magic formula, but these strategies offer a fantastic starting point.
Totally. Now, here's a little something to ponder as we wrap up. If you could give your child one superpower related to their giftedness, what would it be and why?
Ooh, interesting question.
Right. Think on that one, folks. This has been an incredible deep dive. Until next time, keep those amazing minds engaged and maybe brush up on your tax return knowledge, just in case.